Hi, everybody. Jessica with day 36 of my 100-day meditation journey, and it's another late one for me today. Um, Not the best day for me in terms of choices I made for myself. A lot of distractive behavior, and not a lot of, but just bad food choices in general, none of which is supporting me in the direction I want to be taking my life. And so I haven't been feeling the best because of the choices that I made, and they are my choices. And I've been puzzling and racking my brain for a long time about how to change these behaviors of mine. And no matter what I try, I seem to keep coming back to the same patterns. And I really wanted to start looking at this differently, because looking at it as a problem to fix has not worked. Um, I have a hair in my face, it's driving me crazy. Um, and so I needed a different frame to look at this from if I'm going to make any impact in this, any permanent impact. And so in my meditation today, I was thinking about change and what makes us change, what causes change in our life. And I was thinking about the different circumstances of my life that caused me to change. And usually it was either because um, the pain had become too great that I just couldn't continue on the same path anymore, whether that was physical pain, mental, emotional, whatever, or because something really excited me so much that I didn't really think about going back the other way. And so and the more I thought about that, the more that came back to that ever present choice we have in each moment between fear and love. And am I trying to create this change in my life based out of fear, or am I creating it out of love? And right now, the motivation is fear based, because I think that if I do these things, I'll be unhealthy, I won't be successful, on and on and on and on, rather than thinking about all that becomes available to me, how big I can expand, and how much I can give the world. And that's what pushes me towards change. And there's other parallels that other authors and speakers have used with this, but it always comes down to a choice between fear and love, which we have in each moment. I think his name is Gary Zukav. He wrote, I think, The Seed of the Soul. I just read last year, and he talked about he loves temptation. We always say we try to avoid temptation, but he says he loves it because that gives him another opportunity to choose between the horizontal path and the vertical path. The horizontal path keeps us right where we are, and that's, I think, is the fear choice. It doesn't help us expand any. We stay right where we are. We don't grow, we don't learn. We choose the same distracting behavior. We choose the same kind of partner. We choose to stay in the career that we hate, whatever it is. Or in moments of temptation, we can choose the vertical path, which helps us expand, which helps us grow beyond our current state of being. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this too, of the horizontal versus the vertical path. And so it really comes down to the choice in each moment. Every moment you get a new choice: fear or love, horizontal or vertical. And I thought about, how can I consciously make this choice from here on out? And that is to, before making choices, bring my awareness to the choice and ask myself the question: do I want to stay horizontal in my progress, or do I want to go onto the vertical path? Do I want to choose fear here, or do I want to choose love? If we don't bring awareness to the choice, we automatically fall into the patterned behavior. which is generally what's keeping us stuck. But when you bring consciousness to it, even though it seems a little painful, I want to do this old behavior, but I know that doing this new thing will help me move vertical. It's still painful because you're letting go of this old story. You're letting go of what feels safe and comfortable. Even though you may not like it, it feels kind of like home. And what's on the other side of a different choice you don't know yet. So that's can seem a little more fearful. So that's why even bringing consciousness to the choice, you can still have that resistance, but it's resistance to letting go of the old story, which is what you say you want when you want change and growth. So I think taking a pause, taking a breath before the choice, before you order the pizza, or before you decide to skip your morning walk, or before you bring up Facebook again for the 100th time today, or whatever the behavior is that you're trying to change, stop just a moment and take a breath and say, what is the horizontal path in this moment and what is the vertical path, and which do I choose? And it doesn't matter what you choose at that point, because you're making a conscious decision at that moment. And if at times you choose the horizontal, then choose it and then let it go, because we create more damage when we beat ourselves up for our choices. Because that's what I've been doing all day, making choices I'm not happy with and then beating myself up about them. And so it's like a double whammy there. So if you give yourself a moment to make a conscious choice, yeah, I think I'm going to stay horizontal in this moment, then make the choice and move on with your life. But otherwise, by bringing the conscious mind to the choice, I remember doing this last year. I was more able to choose the more vertical behavior, because this is when I did the diet for my trip to Peru. That was a really hard diet to switch to. I cut out meat, I cut out dairy, I cut out sugar. And I did it easily, and with very little pain, because I was bringing that conscious mind to all of my choices. When I had the opportunity to eat a cookie, I would say to myself, do I want to take the horizontal path in this moment, or do I want to take the vertical path in this moment? And just doing that, I was able to say, I'm staying on the vertical path, and let go of the cookie and grab some nuts instead, or grab a piece of fruit, or whatever it was. So it's about choice. It's about fear versus love, or horizontal path versus vertical path. So give yourself the opportunity, give yourself the moment, the consciousness to the moment, to ask yourself, if you're trying to create change in your behavior, give yourself a moment, bring the conscious mind, and ask yourself, what do I choose in this moment? Don't let the unconscious patterns choose for you all the time. Let the conscious mind decide. Let the heart decide. That is it for today, day 36. Hopefully we'll have a little earlier one tomorrow for day 37. Everybody take care. I'll see you tomorrow.